Hello friends, Jay Luxine here, and this is day 12 of the impeachment trial for the Vice President Sara Duterte. Let's get into it. Okay, so panimula, ganun pa rin, wala masyadong nagbago sa questioning ng prosecution. It's still all about looking at the documents and seeing the signatures were from Sara, and the documents has missing information in them when it comes to enumerating kung ano yung mga pinagkagastusan ng pera ng confidential fund. So, yung questioning ng prosecution, parang nagbistulang pagkahaba-haba lang talaga kasi nga, paulit-ulit yung mga tanong, same lang din naman ang sagot nung witness natin na si Attorney Wamil, right? Attorney Poa from the defense said, Your Honor, just to save time, alam na namin kung ano yung mga papers na nasa prosecution and we are ready to defend. However, maybe we could just skip the questioning ng prosecution there kasi same lang naman talaga ang sagot. Ang sagot will always be, yes, that's Sara Duterte's signature. Yes, I know it's Sara's because she's done it before. Yes, kulang ang information ng enumeration ng pinagkagastusan ng confidential fund. Yes, hindi siya compliant sa yung rules and regulation ng joint circular. So, diretso na tayo ngayon sa pag-cross-examine ni Poa sa witness, which was very, very interesting. And I would say now na napakasaludo ko sa ginawa ni Poa kanina. If you've watched it, you'll know what I mean. So ultimately, ang pinalabas ni Poa na oo, may mga kulang sa enumeration ng pinagkagastusan ng pera. Oo, mayroong mga discrepancies sa date, and minsan pa nga late pa ang submission nila ng document. However, ultimately, all of this happened because yung confidential fund was given to Sara by BBM, or yung confidential fund was approved by BBM to be given to the Office of the Vice President for confidential operations. Noong mga nagdaang araw, tinalakay sa proceedings kung unusual ba yung mga transaction ni Vice President Sara Duterte with the money. And yung sinasabi nila unusual, it's not parang criminal na unusual, but it is unusual because it's coming from the Office of the Vice President. However, today, Attorney Poa showed all of us na no, it shouldn't be unusual kasi actually, Vice President Sara Duterte is not the only Vice President that was given confidential fund. There was another Vice President in the past na nakatanggap din ng confidential fund for confidential operations ng Office of the Vice President. So hindi unusual yung ginagawa ni OVP or ni Sara Duterte. It's been done before. Attorney Poa pointed it out today. Kanina, kinlaro ni Attorney Poa na itong DBM, yung nagbibigay ng budget, is directly under the President. Okay? Now, yung budget for confidential fund is coming from DBM. Ano ibig sabihin nito? So parang ganito siya. Ito si Presidente Bongbong Marcos. Under niya is the DBM, yung nagbibigay ng budget. And then confidential funds come from DBM, coming from the order ng Presidente. So sabihin niya, okay, DBM, bigyan niyo ang OVP ng confidential fund. Ngayon, itong DBM will release the money for confidential fund to the Office of the Vice President. Ibig sabihin nun, itong confidential fund is not something that Sara Duterte asked for. It was given to him by the President through DBM. Hold on to that thought because I'm coming back to that with some weird but not too far speculation of my own. Okay, hold on to that thought. Now, before natin pag-usapan yung sa DBM and the release of money, intindihin muna natin, okay, ano ba talaga to? So, okay, paano ang galaw ng pera nito? They were given 125 million budget for every quarter of the year. So, ang isang buong taon, merong 12 months. it's divided into quarters. So first 3 months, second 3 months, third and fourth, right? So every quarter of the year, the OVP has 125 million budget for confidential fund. They have to spend it within that time frame of the quarter. So meaning the first quarter, may 125 million siya, dapat maubos niya yan within that quarter. Para pagpasok ng second quarter, meron naman siyang panibagong 125 million, maubos niya dapat din yan. Para hindi mag-overlap yung mga pera na nasa OVP for confidential fund. Ngayon, ang kini-question ng prosecution was that, paano naubos ni OVP yung 125 million budget niya for that quarter within 11 days? Oo nga naman, kung isipin mo, 125 million, 11 days, anong klaseng mga bagay at mga operations ang pinaggastusan nyo na naubos yung 125 million in 11 days, di ba? However, if you really look into it, you will realize na itong mga quarters of the year always delay ang pag-release ng pera or ng budget for the confidential fund. Ano ibig sabihin nito ngayon? Meaning, ang OVP may nakalaan na ng mga proyekto at mga plano na in detail na yan. So pagdating na lang ng pera, which was delayed, by the way, all they have to do is just release the money to where it should go. Kaya umabot lang ng 11 days kasi nga, yun na, nakaplano na kami. Hinintay na lang namin yung pera para, malagay namin yung pondo sa mga dapat paglagyan. But ang release niyong 125 million from DBM was always delayed. So ngayon kailangan nila i-cram up yung pag-release ng pera. Pag-release ng pera. Switching Tagalog, English, and Bisaya. Sometimes my tongue just forgets to switch too. But kailangan nila habulin yung pag-release ng pera kasi nga papasok na tong next na quarter ng appropriation ng pera for confidential fund. So kung hindi nila na-release yung lahat ng 125 million before the next 125 million, magkakaproblema sila sa records, di ba? Yun yung tanong ngayon. But late yung pag-release ng DBM ng pera, which is directly under Bongbong Marcos, and then ngayon kailangan namin habulin yung deadline, so inilabas namin yung pera na mabilisan sa mga proyekto namin, and then kikwestiyonin nyo kami, bakit 11 days lang? Nagets nyo? So, ibig sabihin nun, si OVP nakaplano ng lahat, nakalinya na, kulang na lang pera, hinihintay nila from DBM. Itong si DBM naman, late ang release ng pera for some reason, which was not tackled today. So, late ang dating ng pera ng OVP, naghihintay sila para sa budget. Pagdating ng budget, patapos na rin yung quarter timeline niya, so kailangan niyang habulin yun. May plano na sila, so madali na lang ang release and disbursement ng pera. Yun. It's not because they were spending money and things that we don't know about and illegally. That's why it took them 11 days. It's just that the release of the money was late and they already have plans, detailed plans on what to do with the money, and they have to cover yung follow the deadline of the spending of the money because it's every quarter. Also, wala namang law na nakalagay na dapat yung pera for that quarter should be spent in this amount of time. Wala. Ang nakalagay lang is the money should be spent within that quarter. It did not say it should take you a month or 2 months. It just says within that quarter. So kung late ang dating ng pera, kailangan nila habulin yung quarter na yun before matapos. Make sense? Bakit naman pagdating dun sa pag-submit nyo ng mga dokumento nyo, hindi naka-enumerate yung specific information on where you spent the money? That's questionable. However, Attorney Poa raised that in 2012, there was a document that was released by GAA on how to spend the money for confidential fund. Basically, guide siya on paano gastusin yung pera ng confidential fund. Nakasaad doon sa 2012 na document is that hindi necessary na i-enumerate nila yung pinagkagastusan ng pera kung merong kung ano yung name, saan napunta, anong binili, anong operation yan, anong surveillance yan. or kung meron bang ongoing investigation, hindi nila kailangan daw i-enumerate yun doon sa report that they submit to COA. That's according to the 2012 document that Attorney Poa released earlier. So dito makikita natin na yung sabi ni Mr. Witness, Mr. Wamil kahapon na nag-issue sila sa OVP ng notice of suspension muna kasi kulang sa detailed information yung pinagkagastusan ng pera, is kind of questionable na kasi based on this document from 2012, the OVP does not have to enumerate everything that they spent the money on, diba? Especially if there's an ongoing investigation. So it shouldn't be a problem sa audit ngayon. They shouldn't have to release a statement of suspension, just because walang naka-enumerate doon anong pinagkagastusan nila based on that 2012 document. Kaya nga, nung na-mention to ni Attorney Poa, nag-object yung prosecution and says na, no, dapat we shouldn't follow the 2012 kasi that's old. We should just look at the 2015 or 2014 na document. That's what we should follow. Well, Attorney Poa turned it around real quick and says na, well, sa 2015, it says there, the memo that is consistent with 2012 should continue. So, ibig sabihin, yes, we should follow 2015 memo from the circular, right? Pero, yung memo na yun, ang nakalagay doon is, it should be consistent to 2012. So, meaning, if we follow 2015, 2015 is telling us to follow 2012. Does that make sense? So basically, yung memo na yun from circular ng 2012 is still applicable for this hearing. Next, yung sinabi nung Attorney Wamil, yung witness na kulang yung enumeration ng pinagkagastusan ng pera, kaya nag-issue sila ng suspension. However, Attorney Poa argued or cross-examined it by showing na, di ba tinanggap nyo yung document? And then sa circular naman na guidelines, it says na kung may kulang sa documentation na sinabit sa inyo, is dapat hindi nyo tanggapin. Ang problema, tinanggap ng COA yung papers, yung documents na sinabit ng OVP, meaning, okay na yon, acceptable na yon. Kasi kung kulang siya, dapat reject, not accept, di ba? So, tinanggap siya ng COA, meaning nasatisfy na yung requirement ng COA for the documents to be accepted. Doon na, pagdating sa audit, nagsabi sila, na may kulang sa information na nilagay nyo. Pero even after noon, nung na-realize na kulang yung pagka-enumerate ng pinagkagastusan ng pera, nag-reach out din ulit agad ang OVP para malaman nila, okay, ano yung kulang para masubmit namin. Pero by this time, itong si Attorney Wamil, the witness, is no longer in that same office. So, he's no longer competent to answer that question kasi he has knowledge of it. He has no knowledge of it anymore. So that means dapat i-consider lang ng mga senator judges yung statement ni Attorney Wamil up until the point na tinanggap ng COA yung submission nila ng documents. Kasi until then lang yung knowledge ni Attorney Wamil, the witness. After nung nag-reach out balik yung OVP na ano yung kulang para ma-submit namin, he's not in the office anymore. He was transferred to a different division. During the whole deliberation, myself, my take, I saw Attorney Wamil, the witness, as someone that has a bias against Sara Duterte. Because anytime that he was asked a question na incriminating for Sara, he would explain it deliberately and clearly. But if it's not incriminating to Sara, he would dance around the question and not answer, clearly, making him unresponsive. Yun yung tawag nila na, yes, he's answering, but it's not to answer the question, basically. Kunwari, ang tanong ni Attorney Poa is yes or no, ang sagot niya is mahabang explanation. And then Attorney Poa would say, no, I need yes or no. And then mahabang explanation again. Ilang beses nangyari yun kasi ang question is not incriminating to Sara. But if somebody asks for something that's incriminating to Sara, he will explain it clearly and deliberately. And remember, he's a lawyer. He knows how to do this. For example, nung tinanong siya ni Attorney Poa na, okay, the whole time, have you seen Sara pocket, even a single cent? He wouldn't answer it directly. He would just, based on the documents po, according to ganito po, and Attorney Poa was like, no, yes or no. he did it again, and no, yes or no, until eventually si Kapunan jumped up and says, hey, wag mo sagutin yan, huy. Anytime the witness gets cornered to divulge information that is not incriminating to Sarah and actually is helping Sarah's case, the prosecution panics and objects. Why? Because they know na itong allegation nila against Sarah is not strong, and it will not stand and will crumble as soon as the right question is asked. And Attorney Poa was asking the right questions the whole time. But this is just my take, okay? My own speculation. I feel like from day one, this has been planned by BBM. Kasi alam niya na hindi niya kayang kalabanin yung support at pagmamahal ng tao kay Sarah. Nung tumakbo siya for president, talagang pinilit niya si Sarah maging vice niya. Sarah at that time did not want to be vice president. The father, Rodrigo Duterte, said one time na ayaw niya kasi alam niya na may masamang plano si Bongbong. He would rather have Sarah run for president. Pero for some reason, na-convince ni BBM si Sarah. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. So, para sa akin, again, this is just my speculation, BBM was playing or is playing the long game. Na alam niya hindi niya kayang banggain si Sarah, so gagawin niyang ally for the first part of the game. Nung naging vice president niya na, bigyan niya ng confidential fund. Pero, late or delay ang pag-release ng pera. Para, pag naipit sila sa deadline ng quarterly releasing of money, kailangan nilang habulin yun. And on record, on bank records and everything, it will look like winaldas niya yung pera within 11 days. Right? Pag na-impeach si Sarah, that means Sarah can no longer run for presidency or any office in the Philippines. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Bongbong Marcos could have the power for as long as he wants, much like what his father did noong 1980s, na napakahabang termino ng tatay niya. Ganon din ang gustong gawin ni BBM. Kung naaalala nyo, nung SONA, very limited ang information na binigay niya sa anong na-accomplish niya within the last 4 years. Lahat ng binigay niyang information are plans for the future up until 2040. It's as if he's saying that he plans to be the president until 2040. But then again, that's just my speculation. Okay? To me, it looks like it's been a plan since day one para hindi niya maging kalaban si Sarah kasi hindi niya kaya talaga ang support ng mamamayang Pilipino kay Sarah against him. I want to open your understanding to this because alam ko na maraming simpleng mamamayan ng Pilipinas ang maaaring hindi ito makita in the way that it should be seen. And it is important na maintindihan nyo to sa kung ano talaga ang ginagawa ng administrasyon. Kasi dito nakasalalay ang kinabukasan ng mga anak natin at ng bansa natin. Gamitin po natin ang ating mga utak. Matuto tayong umusisa at umintindi sa mga nangyayari sa bansa natin. Kaya natin to. Let's be better Pinoys.